Hey everyone, it's the Beard Baron here with a new video, a critical video on how to avoid the worst beard habit. But first I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers on here. We've got a ton of them on here. I've been hearing great things from you guys. Keep the comments coming. A lot of you on Facebook now. If not, check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter as well. A lot of you have caught up with me on Twitter with the Beard Baron. So, you know, everything is, the links are down below in the box. But I have some really exciting news that I'm excited to share today, and that is the launching of the Beard Baron website. Yes, indeed, it's coming. A lot of you guys have asked for it. I've been working on it. It's coming soon. Beard oils, mustache wax, all my own formulas that I handcraft myself and perfected over the years. Combs, brushes, accessories, whole bunch of great exciting stuff coming. So what I'm doing today, I have the link down below for the newsletter, for my Beard Baron newsletter. Enter your email so you'll be first one to know when that website launches, which is going to be very soon. And if you're seeing this video in the future and the website's already launched, I'll have the link to the website down below as well. But getting to the meat and potatoes here, the worst beard habit and how to avoid it. Now, the thing about the beard is it's irresistible to touch. You probably touch it all day long, you stroke it, it's nice and fluffy, and it's something fascinating to touch on your face. Now, there's a big difference between stroking your beard and picking at your beard, okay? And this is where the trouble starts. Now, picking at your beard is when you actually take your fingers and you close your fingertips on individual hairs or a small group of hairs. Whereas stroking your beard, you kind of just keep an open palm, open hand, and you don't really tug anything, you're just kind of feeling at it, like this. But what the key is here is when you start picking at it like this, you just go through like this, you're going to end up starting to pull hairs out. Because a lot of times you'll feel some of the beard hairs feel strange, like they might be a little crinkly or there might be a split end at the end. And so what you do is you're feeling for those and you think this is what you should be doing, and or you feel something weird, so you kind of pull on it and it weakens that follicle and that hair until the point it actually falls out. And as you can guess, whenever you lose beard hair, it's not that great and you want to keep as much hair on your face. Where some beard hairs will naturally fall out on their own, you don't want to be the sole cause of doing it. But here's the real issue, and this is what makes it, in my book, the worst beard habit. And there's a bunch of bad beard habits, but this is what makes it the worst, is that if you have a tendency to stay in the same area and pull on those group of hairs, like for me, this is an area that I always pull on right here. If you do this over and over again over the course of days, weeks, you can potentially develop a hole in your beard, meaning that you've taken out enough beard hairs in one little area where it actually goes bald. Okay, and that is bad news. You do not want to be in that situation because there's usually only one remedy for that, and that is to shave that area. Or in this case, if it's right in the middle of the beard somewhere right in here, you're going to have to shave the entire thing because it's such a bad look. You'll get a lot of, if you thought you got a lot of comments on your beard before, just get a hole in your beard and see what people say about it. It's really bad. A lot of beginners, when they're first growing out their beard for the first time, it's irresistible to pull on hairs. I remember when I had my first couple of beards, I would always pull along my neckline, the new hairs that were all down here or on the top of my cheek line. What would happen is I would pull those in one spot until it became bald. And then, you know, I had to take out a razor and then I had to, you know, raise my neckline so I could hide where that hole was. So if this develops into a habit, and then if it develops into a nervous habit, and you don't know that you're even doing it, you could be potentially doing real damage to your beard and creating holes all over. You might even see it on yourself or see it on others. Usually in November, towards the end of November, when people have grown out beards and mustaches, you'll start to see those holes along the necklines or actually inside the beard themselves. And you know, you can't keep those, you got to get rid of them. So that's why it's hard to grow them out at that point, so you usually have to better off starting over, which is never, you never want to be in that situation whatsoever. So there are ways to avoid this, and the first key to making any change in your life whatsoever is awareness. If you're aware of doing it, you are on the road to safekeeping with your beard. Now, being aware of it is going to have to take some nice little vigilance of saying, oh hey, am I touching my beard? Am I touching it correctly? Am I picking at it, pulling at it, or am I just kind of stroking it? I usually try and like to stay away from completely touching it as much as I can, but it is irresistible to do so. And there's three major times that during the day you are going to pick at your beard potentially. One, when you're sitting at your computer, at home or in the office. Two, when you're sitting watching TV, and 3, when you're driving your car, truck, van, or other mode of transportation, maybe even a boat. So those 3 times when you're sitting and you have an idle hand, That's the most potential time that you're going to do this bad habit. And the way that I like to combat this and to avoid it is if I realize and I'm aware that I'm doing it, okay, Johnny, you're picking at your beard. What I'll do is I'll take that hand, stick it right under my leg. That way if I'm on the computer, I'm using my right hand for the mouse, my left hand is under my leg. So that way I can't physically touch my beard, okay? And same thing with watching TV. If I'm watching TV and I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, this is great, I love this. And I'm like, oh, I'm picking my beard, I gotta stop. I'll take both hands, put them under both legs, and I'll just sit there. If you don't want to put your hands on your legs, cross your arms, tuck your hands underneath your arms like this. Now with driving, it's a little trickier. You have to have one hand on the steering wheel, and you have to maybe have a second hand available to make any kind of sudden changes. So you don't want to take away your other hand, but if you have a shifter knob or something like that, put your hand on there, keep it on there, because it's so tempting to just lean over and do this, twisting, pulling. And you want to be aware that if you're doing that, you need to do something about it, and that is to take your hand away from that area, make sure it doesn't creep back up there. And like I said, this is a natural thing. I still struggle with it every day, but I don't get to the point where I make holes in my beard anymore. I've lost 2 or 3 beards in my beard growing career due to holes from picking at my beard. So it happens all the time, it happens to the best of us. It's still something I deal with all the time. Like I said, on this beard right here, I'm loving at pulling these hairs right underneath my lip in the corners here. I can't stop, so what I do is Johnny, you're pulling your beard, stick your hand under your legs, and carry on. It's that simple, guys. But I want to encourage you guys that if you want to grow a healthy, full beard, you guys stay away from picking at it. It is irresistible to touch. The beard hairs do feel funny, like, oh, what is that? I want to know what that's all about. And then you're pulling to the point, oh, it comes out, and that's one less hair. And if you do that multiple times, especially if it becomes like a nervous habit, if it becomes a nervous habit, then you're not even aware that it's happening, okay? So you've got to be really on top of picking and pulling at your beard. It's okay to touch, kind of open-handedly, but as soon as you take your finger and you start weaving your fingers in there and getting down at the roots and then pulling out like this, doing that all over, that's no bueno. You got to stay away from that. Alright guys, so hopefully that gives you a nice little tip. Like I said, there's a lot of bad beard habits out there, but I really wanted to stress this one today because this is the big one in my opinion. Some people might have other problems, but this is the one that will destroy beards, okay? So if you've got questions, comments, leave them down below. Remember, sign up for the newsletter for my new website, The Beard Baron, that's going to be launching. Join me on Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. You guys know the drill. And I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Alright? We'll see you.